Container Gardening 101, Size Matters, also known as how to know if you have cabbage moths. Just kidding. But wow, look at these guys. This is my kale from over the winter. I'm just letting it grow out pretty much for them. I've had plenty of harvests off of it. Anyway, container gardening. Hey. So this is a blackberry shrub that I've propagated off a cutting from one of my adult plants last fall. Specifically this one. Look at her. Doing great. And I grow these guys specifically in containers because I want to take them with me when I move. And I move a lot these days. So I like the reliability of containers. And I've started doing quite a bit of it. As you can see, that first one was another blackberry. These are blueberries. These are more blueberries. Observe. I'm so excited about these. From berries to native trees. Got some red buds. Got some winterberry, which looks like it is going to actually berry this year, which is fantastic. Got some non-native trees, but very nice ones. And we got another blueberry over here. I don't know. I like trees that produce food. Like this peach tree, which looks very sad right now because it's hot. But as you can see, got a couple little peaches in there. Peaches. Here's another one. Anyway, container gardening. Baby trees. Baby trees. Okay. So, with container gardening, you want to make sure that you have a pot suitably sized to the plant that is going to be in it. So for my little seedling, he doesn't need anything big. It's about, I don't know, 6 inches-ish, 6-7 inches for the depth of this pot. And it's not even actually all the way, it's not even all the way filled up. So this is actually filled to here, which is even less space. But that's fine. That tree doesn't need any more. As you can see, if I lift it, it doesn't have any roots anywhere close to the drain holes. So it's perfectly happy in the size container that it's in. As you can see, this was off of a Liriope at one point. I don't know. I save containers when I buy plants. You should too, if you're going to container garden. Eventually, I will pot this guy up to a larger one. Probably, let me take him with you so you can see. Probably to something, not that big. Something between this size and this size will be his next step, probably this fall or when those little roots are showing out of the drain holes. Mainly because if you go to something too large, this is a silver birch, by the way, it's so pretty. If you go to something too large before the plant is ready to fill that space, then you're just going to collect water at the end of the pot. You're just going to get rot, wilt, funguses, all sorts of bad things that you don't want to deal with your trees, especially if they're fruiting trees, because obviously you want to eat that fruit eventually. A proper sized blackberry bush will generally be okay in a 5-gallon pot, which is the container that we see here. And again, you just want to check drain holes for roots or anything for any signs of getting root bound. And if you got that, pot up. Typically you want to pot up at least to one that's about half as big or no more than twice as big as the container it's currently in, again, so that you don't have leftover space. You also don't want to keep it in a pot too long unless you're growing a bonsai tree. And that's a whole different subject, growing a bonsai tree. The containers I'm using when they get kind of closer to adulthood are called air pots. Air, like air, A-I-R, pots, like pots, I don't know. If you Google it, you'll probably get a British website that tells you about it. Or you can talk to me. The only American dealer I know of, or at least on a website, is out in Oregon, I think. That's actually where I ordered these. You may see some local shops starting to carry them because they're great for other kinds of plants. Because they support healthy roots. If you look, I've actually left a little bit of soil out of this, kind of just so I can do this video, but they've got these little nubbles inside and outside of the container. The ones on the outside start sealed off, and then they come down, they start opening up. And this is so that air can access the entire depth of the container rather than just at the bottom and at the top, like in a traditional pot, like that. And And that is so you get healthy root growth. And healthy roots make healthy plants. That's why we pot up gently instead of just throwing it into a giant thing like this that it will eventually grow in, but not yet. So these air pots, again, are designed to kind of support that growth, create healthy root balls that are also fancy. And they're easy to change because they're just kind of sewn together with these little screws. Can I see the inside of this? No, it's in the nubble. But I don't know if you can see, but there's actually, it's a whole one piece, and it just wraps around, and it's secured by these little screws. And that is so you can just unwind this when you're ready to change the sizes. You just undo the screws and you just roll it out, and then your root ball is perfectly contained in a wonderful little shape that just plugs right into the next size up or however you're going. Very easy to repot. I love these things. They're a little more expensive than like your quote unquote traditional container. That one, not those ones in the background. Those are air pots. But I love them because they're fantastic. You can reuse them. You can put them in the dishwasher if you have a big enough dishwasher. You can power wash them clean. They're wonderful. They're easy to transplant. They're easy to grow in. They support healthy roots, which again is healthy plants. Anyway, I'm not paid by AirPot. I'm just a really happy customer. I think you heard me say that in the Bird Be Gone video. Speaking of which, I need to buy more of those because we're gonna have blackberries soon. And we already have a lot of blueberries. Look at them all. Oh. Anyway, that's Container Gardening 101. Next step will be another subject that I want to talk about with container gardening. Stay tuned. Have a lovely day.